If you like enchiladas and if you like a casserole, you are gonna love this.
Beefy, cheesy, and enchilada-y.
Made even better with all the fixins.
Oh, layers and layers of Tex-Mex goodness.
Trust us, folks, after one bite, you're gonna say,
Andale, get my belly.
Andale, hurry up. I'm telling you, I love enchiladas and I love a casserole.
And this is the best of both worlds.
Real deal. So it makes a good amount. It's going to feed a hungry family, but it also heats up beautifully. So I've got
big old family, which I love.
I know, which is us. So we've got 2 pounds of ground beef here. We're going to get rid of most of the rendered grease. So I'm going with a little more lean ground beef. I'm going with 90% lean. But we'll talk about that in a little more in just a moment.
Let's talk about this amazing red enchilada sauce.
It is. I mean,
and it's super easy, and it's not from a can.
That's why I call it my easy red enchilada sauce. We have a little more involved enchilada sauce, which involves, dried chilies and all of that.
Which
and
is really just as good.
But folks, this is good, and it's, like I said, it's easy. So let me tell you, all I did, I increased the volumes a little bit to go for this big old mega casserole. But what I did was I just got a saucepan over medium heat, added a 1/3 cup of a neutral oil like avocado oil or vegetable oil, heated that up, and then added a 1/3 cup of flour. Stir that for about a minute and get that raw flour taste out of there. And then to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste to stir that till it's nicely combined. Then we're going to season it up. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of chili powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, a pinch of cinnamon, yay, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to stir that till it's nice and aromatic. Then we're going to whisk in about 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 cups of chicken broth. Continue to then whisk that until all the lumps are gone, then stir it, just keep stirring it until it's thickened to the thickness of sauce, and then we're going to stir in a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar.
What?
And that's all there is to it, and I'm telling you.
The hardest thing about that is mise en place. Getting everything out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just spices. So it's really, really very easy, and then you can just keep it in the fridge for a couple weeks, and it's so much better than the canned version. But of course, in a pinch, you can absolutely go with a can to use this.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to continue cooking this until it is no longer pink, and then we're going to get rid of most of the grease. Okay, so you see I've been cooking this and stirring it, breaking it up as I go. Now it's, you see that grease in there? So now what we're going to do, normally I drain this through a colander, but Wesley insisted on getting this tiny little sieve.
I want you all to see.
I know. So we're just going to do this into a heat-proof bowl.
There we go.
See if we can do this without.
I can do it, Chris.
I know, it may take 20 minutes. But now, okay, so we have options.
You can do anything.
Well, that's true. You have options here. So you may be thinking, well, why do you have to do that? Well,
there you go.
You could, at this point, if you don't want to go through this step, the reason I'm doing this is because now we're going to saute the vegetables. And I like for it to, everything in this to be beefy flavor. Let that beef flavor go through. That's okay if you don't get everything.
Got it.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of that grease. We need only about a tablespoon of it, and we are going to put it in here, and then I'm going to saute the veggies. If you want to skip
You want a tablespoon now?
Yes, please.
All right.
A little more than that. So if you want to skip that step, and you can just throw your vegetables in here it's going to be onions and red bell pepper and garlic. You could do that too and then drain it. But I just think it gets this nice and tender. So this is a large onion that I chopped. It's about a cup. This is a red bell pepper that I have finely chopped. And it's just going to get that delicious flavor all throughout. So anyway, okay. We're going to cook this.
Is that kind of like when you add those beans? Is that kind of like the mirepoix of Tex-Mex cooking?
Well, no.
That would be a green bell pepper or a
That would be
jalapeno.
if I was doing like Cajun. No, it would be bell pepper along with this.
Oh, okay.
And it would also be with celery.
Got it.
I'm getting my. You asked me these questions, and I'm too entranced with my vegetables. But anyway,
that's my job.
That's what you do. So we're going to cook this until it gets nice and tender, and that's only about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, smells so good. Mm-hmm. So now that's gone a few minutes. Now I've got 3 cloves of garlic that I've minced here that we're just gonna saute this till it gets nice and aromatic.
This is a little remnant of your Mexican lasagna. But I think we use
We use flour tortillas
flour
for
tortillas.
that.
And
Yeah,
we don't use any red enchilada sauce for that either.
I haven't made that in a long time.
So
but,
good.
This is really, and this is corn tortillas, which is really the authentic,
notch.
the authentic way to do it.
What am I doing?
We're going to add the beef back in.
Oh, okay.
I know. So now we're just bringing it all back together, and doesn't it feel so good?
You know, I made
reunited, and it feels so good.
Yeah, I made you do this whole thing because I needed something to do.
I know. Well, you also like the way it steams you. Okay,
So I smell nice and beefy.
nice and beefy. You're so beefy. Okay, so now we're going to add some seasonings. So now I've got a teaspoon of smoked paprika and a teaspoon of ground cumin. Yum. And then we're going to add, now this is 2 pounds of beef, so it's going to need some salt. We're going to do 2 teaspoons. I've got kosher salt here. We're going to do a teaspoon of crushed black pepper. I'm just going to stir that around.
When do you want these other things?
Just in a moment. I'm going to let these spices kind of bloom, if you will. Get really, really delicious and yummy. Smells so good. Okay, so now we can add the other things.
Yeah.
So that is a, what is that? That's a small can of chopped green chilies.
Yes.
They're very mild. Don't worry, they don't.
best.
Yeah, they don't add a lot of spice.
We
no
put
need
these
to.
in our quesadillas, our chicken quesadillas.
Yes, no need to drain them. Then we've got, this is a 15-ounce can of black beans.
I love that.
It adds, not only adds flavor, it just gives a little texture that's just, it's so delicious.
It gives me a hint of a bean burrito.
Which he loves. And what I did was I drained them and then I rinsed them. And then now for the flavor to keep this thing nice and juicy, I got a half a cup of my homemade easy red enchilada sauce. And we'll stir that in.
Wow.
Doesn't that look good?
That looks amazing.
It looks good. So this is basically about ready. I'm just going to let it cook for another couple minutes just to let all those flavors really get to know each other. And then we're going to build the casserole.
Yay!
Okay, don't eat all that. We got to save it. It's so yummy, yummy, yummy.
This is like,
that's the good stuff.
That
Okay,
is good.
so now we're going to do another layer of the enchiladas, which are the tortillas.
Yes. Look at these bad boys. These are yellow corn tortillas, and they are authentic. These are what you use for your enchiladas.
Yes, I mean you could go with flour tortillas. That's okay.
Wait, did we do flour for our sour cream enchiladas?
We've done them for one of them before, but anyway. So now we're going to do something that
Throwing you for a loop again.
Yes, that's going to give them that authentic enchilada flavor, which is done in most Mexican and Tex-Mex restaurants. And we need to make these really pliable. So there's an easy way to do that. You can wrap them with a moist paper towels and just microwave them. But if you really want them to be really super delicious, do it the way they do it in the Tex-Mex Mexican restaurants. I've got a nice skillet here that's not much larger than my tortilla. I've got some vegetable oil in here, probably about a tablespoon. And this you're going to want to have a couple of utensils. Because tortillas, once they get very pliable, they're easy to tear.
Delicate.
If they tear, no big deal. They'll still be fine in your casserole. But there's a way to kind of avoid this. And this may take a little practice. So I've heated this over medium heat, and it literally does not take long at all. And the more you do this, as the oil heats up, it'll cook these quicker. But it just, it gets them nice and pliable.
Oh, there you
and
go.
see, it starts to sizzle like that. Like I said, as this oil gets even hotter, it does not take long at all. And that's really all there is to it. And it just gets a really
right there, and I'll just
really soft.
And I just take this and I just get rid of that excess grease.
So put them on paper towels like that. Get rid of your excess grease, and you can just continue to do this and stack them as they go. So like literally. Just a few seconds. This is my oil is still heating up. I think I'm going to crank this a little bit more.
Crank it.
But it's going to only take probably maybe 5 to 10 seconds per side, and that's all there is. You don't want it to become so pliable that it completely falls apart
on you. There you go.
And okay, and we're going to do that.
We got 18 of these to go.
We got 18 because we're going to do 3 layers, and we're going to do 6 per layer, and we'll give you a little more detail on that. Okay,
now comes the fun part.
Let's build an enchilada casserole, shall we? So we've got our 9x13 dish here. I've got my oven preheating to 375, and now what we're going to do, this is when it gets really fun. So you're thinking I'm weird for saying that, but it's true. So
it is fun.
I know, it is. So I have got 3/4 of a cup, and I'm going to explain these quantities here in just a moment because you need to divvy these things up a little bit. But that's 3/4 of a cup of my sauce that I poured in the base of this, and it's so yummy.
And I've got the first round of tortillas, but 4 of these I want to cut in half because I want to cover the entire bottom.
You want as close. You want every like bite to have tortilla in it.
Yeah, watch this, y'all.
Wesley has
this
a method.
Is magic.
So while he's doing that, let me talk a little bit. So when you make your sauce, or if you're buying, you're going to need like 3.5 to 4 cups of sauce. So make sure you've got that. The recipe that I gave you earlier will give you about 4 cups. So you'll have ample amount of sauce. We're going to divide that into portions. You can eyeball it, no problem. You're going to have plenty, but just usually it's about 3/4 a cup per layer. We've got our cheese here. We've got 4 cups of grated cheese. If you can grate it from a block, that's better. I'm using grated Colby. You could use cheddar, Monterey Jack. Look at that. So you see how he did that.
Yes, I'm covering the whole thing.
Halves on the perimeter and then holes in the middle.
Yes.
Anyway, I divided this cheese. We're going to have 3 layers. We've got 2 layers in the middle, which is 1.25 cups, and then we're going to have a cup on the top. Now I'm going to take half of my meat mixture, and I'm going to make a layer right here. And this, you guys,
this is where I'm talking about when you're making regular enchiladas.
Yeah.
When you roll them up, sometimes you just get all tortilla and you don't get any of the meat on the inside. I'm telling you, you get meat with every bite here. Meat, sauce, cheese, tortilla.
And as much as I love making enchiladas, it's always a challenge getting that cooked enchilada from, well, first you have to roll them, and you usually do them in a little bit of that sauce, and then that can be a little bit of a challenge. But even though this is one of those things, it's not something you're going to whip together in 15, 20 minutes. Let's be honest about that. But it's
fun.
It's fun.
Get the family involved.
It's a fun Sunday project, or you can do this in advance and then just stick it in the oven. You can prepare this the night before, and you're good to go. So now we've got
some cheese.
3/4 cup of cheese, and this is good and cheesy and beefy and melty.
So good.
Okay, so this is layer number 1.
Yes.
Now we are going to do exactly what we just did another time.
Yay.
Wow, that was fun. Okay, my head is spinning.
I love that music.
I do too.
I'm going to play it all summer long.
Okay, so now we've done 2 layers, and we're going to do 1 more layer of tortillas, just like what we did before.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
that's okay.
Taking too much time.
We've probably got about a cup left, if my eyeballing was correct, or if you have a little extra sauce, that's right. About 1/2 cup of sauce.
See,
So
look
that's
at
perfect.
that.
This does not have to be rocket science. It does not have to be perfect. That's why it's so great about being a casserole. And this, you guys, it makes a good amount, as you can see.
Look at that. There's 18.
It can easily be halved. You can make one smaller one, and half of one, and then make the other one and freeze it.
Or the sauce
and then freeze it.
Sorry.
The sauce and then the cheese. This is cooking with Chris and Wesley.
Trying to confuse you. Oh, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah. And then just, we just get a brush and just kind of smooth it around.
All of the tortillas.
Yeah.
There you go.
And again, as this melts, it's going to spread around, and it's beautiful. So now we've got another cup of the cheese.
Hold. Come on. Let me get enough on here.
Okay. Now I'm just going to sprinkle this on here.
Yes. Look at that, you guys.
You can use, like I said, whatever your favorite melting kind of cheese is, as long as it's in sort of like what you'd typically see in Tex-Mex or Mexican cooking. I'd probably avoid mozzarella. Yeah, that is gorgeous. And we're doing a little less cheese on this layer because we want to be able to see those fabulous tortillas and that sauce. It's going to get all bubbly. So now we're going to
put a couple of toothpicks in the middle.
Yeah, this is just, what this does is if we need to cover it with some foil.
Lightly.
Lightly. If you and this is a full casserole, so if we didn't do this, the cheese would likely stick to the foil, which isn't so great. So we're going to cook this now, like I said, at 375 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. Then we're going to remove the foil, let it go for another 20 minutes, and it's ready to eat. Oh, it smells so good. So after 20 minutes, carefully pulled it out. I just took that foil away, removed
those
toothpicks, and now let it go for another 15 minutes. And it just
to get it some brown. Oh,
so it's
my.
nice and bubbly.
I am.
That is enchilada casserole, folks.
Yeah,
Wow.
that looks like one giant enchilada.
Enchilada, it is basically. So you see, it's that bubbling. That is, it's molten lava. So you need to let it rest for, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes, just so you don't want to hurt your guests by feeding it to them. Also, it allows those juices to kind of settle, and if you cut into it right now, it's just going to be a mess.
Yes.
So, it may be a mess in 10, 15 minutes, but
That's right.
it won't be that quite of a hot mess.
Right.
Who's calling it a hot mess?
Not me.
At last, it is time.
It is time. I have a feeling it's still a little hot, though.
Well, that's a good thing. You can get it ready, and so I'm going to make it pretty because that's what I do.
Yes.
So this is some of our easy homemade pico de gallo. We got the recipe for this on the blog. You can whatever your favorite fixins are. I just love the fixins. It just makes it good. Besides being yummy, look how pretty it is.
It is
And
gorgeous.
then top that with a little chopped cilantro, and then you feel like, okay, we're at a fancy restaurant.
That is gorgeous.
Okay, so now the fun part. It's always like the first slice. So this really, you could cut this into 12 pieces. So this feeds 12 people. But like I said, it also reheats easily. So Wesley loves to do the old big spatula cut.
It's good. It's good that way.
I have to say,
it
it does work. You could also use just a nice big sharp knife.
Those are nice and soft tortillas.
They are soft. So they're easy to cut through. Kind of get those sides. And then I'm going to cut just a piece here.
Is that yours or my slice? Whatever.
This is going to be mine because I'm going to give you the one with the pretty topping. But I always, I have first slice anxiety. So I'm going to give you my first slice here. I like to do it this way. I know you want me to do it this way.
No, you can do it any way you want to.
Okay, good. Really. Oh, look at that.
That's gorgeous.
Now that is some nice cheese pull.
Nice.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Okay. Go, there's yours.
Now I'm gonna use this smaller spatula. I have all my tools right handy.
Wow. Look at that.
Look at that.
Chris, I'm dying.
Wowzers.
I am dying. Oh, that looks delicious.
Oh,
Wow.
look good.
You guys. Look at
Cheesy
that.
deliciousness.
Now I need to have a little dollop of
Sour cream. You could do whatever you like pickled jalapenos is nice. You could do some salsa. I love whatever you would normally put on your enchilada, or nothing at all is always a good choice.
There you go, Chris.
Thank you.
Here, I'm gonna get this out of the way so
clean.
you can see everything.
I'm gonna do a little more cilantro on here. I'm gonna do a little dollop of cilantro. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Okay.
We going in?
Yep. I'm
See,
ready
it's
for
no
it.
longer molten lava, but it's nice and hot.
I'm gonna smear this
Just
all over.
layers and layers of flavor.
Oh, that.
Don't you love the beans that are in there?
I'm dying already. I'm dying already.
Salivating.
Okay. Ready? Ready.
I am ready. It's enchilada in a casserole.
It's amazing. It's so.
The flavor, it is enchiladas in a casserole. There's no other way to describe it.
You know, like one of my favorite things to go to Tex-Mex is get like the enchilada dinner.
Yes, you do. That's your favorite thing to order.
This is like 10 enchilada dinners.
I know.
Oh, it is so good.
Like I said, you can make this in advance and then stick it in the oven. You can take shortcuts. You don't have to fry the tortillas. You can buy canned sauce.
That is so good. That's 1,000,000,000% Loon-approved.
Wow, you guys!
I love the beans in there.
I do too. I love everything about this. I am going to devour this.
I am doing it right now.
So we hope we've inspired you to make some enchilada casserole. You could also do this with chicken. The
possibilities are infinite.
Infinite. All right, you guys, we love you so much. Make enchilada casserole. All right. Bye.